I'm going to tell you right now that trying to eliminate screen time for your toddler because your pediatrician tells you it's not good for their speech and brain development is old school thinking. As a person who has suffered from speech delays and who has a child who is going through the exact same thing, in order to combat screen time with their speech development, my first recommendation is to find shows that your toddler is going to watch during screen time anyway that is focused on speech development in toddlers. That way, you can give your child screen time and not feel guilty that they're looking at useless shows and information that is not going to help them with their development, and really focus on shows that are actually tailored to helping your child speak. Here are my top 5 best shows for speech development in toddlers. We're not going to go in any particular order. So the first show that we're going to be talking about that is best for toddlers speech development is Sesame Street. Everybody who is under the age of 50 knows about Sesame Street. This show is iconic and it has spanned from generations to generation. They have so many lovable characters, engaging complex situations that are geared to early learning in toddlers. It's no wonder that Sesame Street would be first on the list. They have iconic characters including Elmo, Cookie Monster, Big Bird, and all of the scenarios that Sesame Street talks about are really focused on engaging and learning the alphabet, ABCs, counting, forming sentences. There's so many different seasons that also focus on this as well. It is absolutely no excuse why your child is not watching Sesame Street in one form or another. They also have Elmo's World, and they also have Maddie's Corner. They have so many different characters that now branch off and have their own corners that they focus on specific things to help teach your child and aiding them in development, that if you're not watching Sesame Street or Sesame Street is not on your child's list, you should definitely be able to put that on the list. Now, I know sometimes parents can be concerned about how to access these. Don't worry, because Sesame Street is actually on the YouTube Kids app. So all you have to do is in the top corner search bar, type in Sesame Street, and the channel will actually pop up, and then you can click within Sesame Street and see all the different programs and shows that they have. They have clips, they have different collaborations. Elmo sings the ABCs. So you can actually access this on your tablet so that while your child is engaged, they can go to the YouTube Kids app, search Sesame Street, and you'll be able to access all this information there. A win-win for screen time. Moving on to the next show that is best for speech development in toddlers is Tab Time. Now, of course, we all know about Auntie Tab, and she actually has a YouTube show that is focused on children between the ages of 3 and 5. Now, we all know that Auntie Tab is a vegan. She cooks, she acts, she sings, she's a motivational speaker, and so her show really focuses on that, bringing all her loves of who she is as a person into this show. There's so many different characters that you can interact with Tab, and you could also access Tab Time on the YouTube Kids app. All of these shows I'm going to be showing you, you can access through the YouTube Kids app, so you have no worry about making sure that your children is not being exposed to ads or anything like that. So just like we did with Sesame Street, you would go in at the top of the search bar, you would tap in Tab Time. Tab Time, that's the icon for her show. You will just press Tab Time, and again in YouTube Kids it will show all the different segments and also cutouts from different parts of her show, how to make different meals, different characters that she's talking to, and it's really a great show if you're looking for like a more human form of this show. If you still need support around getting your child ready to enter first grade, I have something that will definitely interest you. Make sure to click the link in my description box below, because I have printables that are specifically designed for preschoolers between the ages of 3 and 5. What I love about the printables is that my son also uses them, and he is 3, which is the perfect age to start introducing your children to tracing and letter recognition and also word building. So if you are a parent between the ages of 3 and 5, this printable is geared towards you. Make sure to click the link in the description box below to find out all the information about my printables. I have several different types so that you are able to choose the best one for your child. Now that we got that out the way, let's move on to the next show that is best for speech development in toddlers. And we're going to be talking about Miss Rachel. Just like Tab Time, Miss Rachel is an incredible show if you want to get your children interested in learning. Now, Miss Rachel is a little different because she uses techniques that are actually recommended by speech therapist. And this one is very, very key, because as your child starts to develop language, if you notice that they are having speech development issues, Miss Rachel's channel is actually focused on making sure that your child is understanding from a phonetic way how to say words, understand context and meaning. If you've never heard of Miss Rachel, she actually has a background in education. She went to NYU, and she already has a master's degree in music, and she's getting another master's degree in early childhood education. So you're not going to be able to go wrong with looking at Miss Rachel as well for getting your child to get up to speed when it comes to speech. Again, if you need help with figuring out what Miss Rachel's channel looks like, that is what the channel will look like. And then again, it will show you all the different videos that she has. Baby Learning 2, and it has like Babies Learning. So all of these, again, just like with Tab Time and Sesame Street, you will go to the YouTube Kids app. At the search bar, you will search for each of the programs that I'm giving you, and then you can just kind of go through, and your child can pick based on where they are, first words. They can pick where you want them to be when learning different speech and programmings based on where they are in their development. The next show that we're going to be talking about that is one of the best shows for speech development and toddlers is the iconic Mickey Mouse Club. Now, Mickey Mouse Club, if you're a millennial, they had so many different versions of it. They actually had an actual Mickey Mouse Club where it was like Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears in them. If you know, you know. So it's great to see that they have reimagined the Mickey Mouse Club to include all the iconic Disney icons from Mickey to Minnie, and what they will do is embark on shapes and colors to help teach your children the foundations of learning how to phonetically say colors and phrases for different shapes and different items. All that is covered in the Mickey Mouse Club, and who doesn't look like looking at Mickey and Minnie and like Donald Duck and them? Like, it is just awesome, right? Of course, the Mickey Mouse Club is a timeless classic, so you won't have any problems with your child being able to watch this program, access it on multiple platforms. Of course, we're going to be sticking with YouTube Kids, and I will show you how you can find the program and what it looks like. Now, because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is a Disney property, you're not going to have a designated place in YouTube Kids to find it, but all you would do is just, like with all the other shows, type in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and you'll see full episodes on their section of YouTube Kids, and you'll be able to pick different episodes that you want your child to watch. They usually have full episodes which range between 20 to 45 minutes, and again, it's a great way to keep your children interacted while you're giving them screen time. Now, next on the list for the best shows for speech development and toddlers is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. And of course, we all know this is a play after Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. If you grew up in the 99s and 2000s, you might have heard of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And so Daniel kind of takes the premise of that show and it's made in a cartoon version of it. So pretty much it is Daniel the Tiger. You're with all his friends. You're seeing him go into his house with the train, and all the adventures that he goes through is very similar to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They would have a specific theme of the day, and then you would go along with Daniel throughout his day based on the theme and learn the concept of that show. Another thing about Daniel's Tiger's Neighborhood is that you fall in love with all his friends just like you did with Mr. Rogers, and it's based on relatable stories, because sometimes learning is not just through like textbook. Sometimes having context and relatable stories that your children can imagine themselves in is another great way of getting them to learn and develop their speech. So this show is definitely a great way of tackling all those speech issues. I'm going to show you how to access it on the YouTube Kids app. Now, just like with Mickey Mouse, Daniel is a part of the PBS Kids. So if you have the PBS Kids app, you'll be able to access those details directly. But all you have to do, again, is type in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood inside of the YouTube Kids app, and you'll be able to see all of the shows that he has. There are full shows, there's snippets, there's compilations. So you'll be able to tap into all the different programming that he has for your child. If you want a full list of my 17 best shows for toddlers toddler development, make sure to check out the links in the description box below. I wrote a full blog post on this that you can check out. If any of these shows are not of interest to you, I have 12 others that you can tap into to help with your child's learning and development. Now, throughout this entire video, I have shared with you the best shows for speech development, but I didn't really go into determining if your child even needs speech therapy. So if you think that is something you might want to explore more, I'm going to link this video here that you can check out where I actually go through speech therapy 101 and if that's something for you and your family to explore.